WordPress is one of the most powerful content management systems available. It is versatile, constantly updated, and totally free. And using this, you can create simple blogs, complex websites, and anything in between. So, what is WordPress? Well, the simplest definition would be that WordPress is a piece of software that you can install and use to create a blog, an app, or a website, and so on. The more complex definition would be that WordPress is a content management system, or a CMS. So it can be used to manage content. So WordPress gives you a platform that you can use to share content with the world. And it also gives you all the tools that you need to do that efficiently and effortlessly. In addition to that, it is an open source software, and open source means that its source code is available freely. So WordPress has been around for quite a while now, and during this time it was constantly updated. And during this time, at each major version, new features were added. The platform itself was improved a number of times. Bug fixes were there. So how can we get WordPress? We can go to wordpress.org and then we need to download WordPress, the version that is available. So before we get into the software part, let's quickly look at how WordPress works. So WordPress is a piece of software, but it has certain requirements in order to run properly. And one of those requirements is a web server or a web server software. A web server software is Apache, an example. There are a couple more, but these are very popular, especially Apache. Now, what WordPress needs is support for PHP and also a database management system. And that can be MySQL, it can be MariaDB, there are a couple of others as well. Apache supports both of these, so it supports PHP, among other things. And PHP is a programming language in which WordPress is written. And it also supports MySQL, which is this database management system. And with it, you can basically create databases that WordPress uses to store information about your website. So the very first step in working with WordPress locally is to use a software that can emulate a web server on your local machine. So there are a couple of options which we can use in this case. What I would go with is XAMPP. This is a more cross-platform option because it works on Windows, Mac OS, and Linux. So depending on your operating system, you can go and install any one of the options that are available. Once the file is downloaded, just click on it in order to execute it, and then you can install XAMPP on your local machine. Once that is done, we need to go ahead and extract the WordPress file, the zip folder which got downloaded. We need to extract that file and copy it and paste it into the htdocs folder in XAMPP. So usually XAMPP gets installed. When you go to C drive, you will get to see the folder for XAMPP. You need to copy the WordPress file and paste it into the htdocs folder. And then we also need to create a database. So go to localhost, just type localhost on your URL. I have given the port number here because I changed the port. If not, it's just localhost. And once you go to that, you will be shown the home page. And here we need to go to phpMyAdmin to create the database that we want. So let's create a new database for our WordPress project. Let's give the database a name. And let's hit create. Okay, so the database is created. So now we have a database. That's all you need to do here. You don't have to worry about the structure because WordPress will automatically populate this database for you. So we are done with the first step. Now we have a database. We have WordPress downloaded and we have copied the folder into htdocs as well. Since we have everything in place, let's go to localhost and the port if you changed it by any chance, and then let's type WordPress. Now we are going into the WordPress folder that we created. So localhost when you do that, you will come to a page like this. And remember, before you do any of this, before you go to localhost, you need to go to the exam control panel and start Apache, MySQL. You need to start these modules in order to work with it. Therefore, before we go to localhost in our browser, we need to start these modules in the exam control panel. So we download XAMPP and WordPress, and we get the WordPress folder into htdocs, and then we start the modules in the control panel. Thereafter, we go to localhost and go to phpMyAdmin to create a database, and then we go to again localhost WordPress. If we do not start these, then we will get a message saying that the requested query cannot be achieved because of a connection issue or something similar to that. So once we go to WordPress, we will get this type of a interface. So let's create the, let's select the language, and then click on let's go. Now we need to fill the data here. The database name that we gave was WordPress demo. So let's fill that here, WordPress username. We have a username, let's make it root. And then let's make password also root. The database host, let's keep it as localhost without any change. And table prefix is not quite important. It just says that it's going to add WP underscore to the name of each table that it's going to create in the database. So you can change it if you want. I'm just going to leave it like that and press submit. So I put root for username and the password. And earlier I forgot to mention the port because I changed it. Then I clicked submit.